The hero's grace, Allah.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
In the tale of wisdom, a hero's grace, Imam believed in Allah's embrace. Born beneath the Kaaba's sacred dome, in history's pages, a righteous heart. A cousin companion by the Prophet's side, with justice and truth he would confide. With a sword of justice, strong and true, facing injustice, his heart stayed true. In the battle of Baqar, his valor was grew, a line of Islam in the Prophet's dream. Yet a heart of kindness, gentle and mild, a blend of strength and compassion compiled. Words of wisdom like a flowing stream, not to Balagha like a radiant beam. His eloquence a poetic song, guiding hearts where virtues belong. A father, a husband, a leader fair, in every role he kindly cared. Trials and triumphs his journey unfold, Imam his tale forever told. On the night of power, he gave his son, his cloak shared in the soft moonlight. Charity lessons simple and clear, loving humilities forever near. In history's books he stands tall, justice champion heeding the call. Imam Ali, the guiding light, leading us toward the pastoral light. Ali's the generous, unlike any other, Amir al-Mu'minin, وسيد المرسلين ويسد المسلمين أمير المؤمنين أسد الله مولد علي بن أبي طالب.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Imam Muhammad Baqar alayhi salam, it is narrated that Imam Baqar alayhi salam says to one of his companions, O Jabir, it is not enough that a person says, I am a Shia and I love the Prophet and the Prophet's family and the Imams. By Allah, a Shia is the one who is perfectly pious and obedient to Allah's commands. Anyone else is not a Shia, no matter how much they say they love Hazrat Ali alayhi salam and no matter what they call themselves. O Jabir, our Shias are known by these signs. They are truthful, trustworthy, and loyal. They always remember Allah. They offer their prayers, observe fast, and recite Holy Quran. They help their neighbors, take care of orphans, and say nothing but good of people. They act nicely towards their parents. They are worthy of people's trust and confidence. Salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
So I'm gonna ask Muhammad Ijaz now for the nasheed. Loud salawat for Muhammad Ijaz.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Islam. Stand on the sight to my love is Ali. مولا علی مولا علی مولاي أمي محجني لك كيف أوصف لو أتي مولاي أمي محجني لك كيف أوصف لو أتي أفهم رضيت بحسرتي أفهم رضيت بحسرتي حسراتي علي أبراتي علي حسراتي علي أبراتي علي مولا علي
مولا علی مولا علی مولا علی
أنا حبي علي وهوامي علي مولا علي
مولا علی
أنا حبي علي وهوامي علي مولا علي
مولا علی
مولا علي مولا علي I heard you last night, you continue to describe your words, can't think straight. I heard you last night, you continue to describe your words, can't think straight. You're a sea, Galveston, you're a sea, Galveston. Was Hyper Ali, Hyder Ali, was Hyper Ali, Hyder Ali.
نعرے حیدری
مولا علی مولا علی مولا علی مولا علی أنا حبي علي ومرامي علي مولا علي مولا علي أنا حبي علي ومرامي علي مولا علي مولا علي مولا علي مولا علي
اللهم صل علی محمد وآل So beautiful Nasheed from Muhammad Ijaz. So a few more lines from Mohsin Naqvi poetry. So listen to these lines very carefully. You will enjoy these lines. But you have to pay attention. تیرا لباس شریعت ولا کے دھاگے سے تیرا لباس شریعت ولا کے دھاگے سے اگر سلا ہی نہیں تو پھر سلا بھی نہیں. دوبارہ پڑھتا ہوں میں. پہلا والا سلا سین سے ہے, دوسرا والا سلا سواد سے ہے. تیرا لباس شریعت ولا کے دھاگے سے اگر سلا ہی نہیں ہے تو پھر سلا بھی نہیں. عجیب مرض ہے بغض علی ولی جسم عجیب مرض ہے بغض علی ولی جسم کوئی دوا بھی نہیں ہے کوئی شفا بھی نہیں. اندھیری قبر میں یہ سوچنا کہ اجر نبی اندھیری قبر میں یہ سوچنا کہ اجر نبی وہاں دیا جو نہیں تھا یہاں دیا بھی نہیں. بغیر عشق علی تو نے اس زمانے میں بغیر عشق علی تو نے اس زمانے میں طویل عمر گزاری ہے اور جیا بھی نہیں. علی ولی کے عدو اور کیا سزا ہو تیری علی ولی کی عدو اور کیا سزا ہو تیری نماز پڑھ بھی رہا ہے کوئی ادا بھی نہیں. جسے علی کی محبت میں موت آ جائے شہیدوں کے لیے جسے علی کی محبت میں موت آ جائے وہ شخص مر بھی گیا ہے مگر مرا بھی نہیں. محمد والے محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. So in your lights now, Salvador Manas, Eva, come forward please.
صلوات ناز علی کا ورد کرو یہ غم دربر کیا ناز علی کے سامنے کوئی منتر ونتر کیا ناز علی کا ورد کرو یہ غم دربر کیا ناز علی کے سامنے کوئی منتر ونتر کیا شیر خدا نے خدا بنی تلوار کو روکا تھا شیر خدا نے ویپر کیا ورنہ ہے جبریل تمہارے شہپر ویپر کیا ناد علی کا ورد کرو یہ ہم بم دربر کیا ناد علی کے سامنے کوئی منتر ونتر کیا جس نے اپنے بچپن میں اشتر کو چیرا ہو جس نے اپنے بچپن میں اشتر کو چیرا ہو اس کو بھری جوانی میں خیبر ویبر کیا اس کو بھری جوانی میں خیبر ویبر کیا ناد علی کا ورد کرو یہ غم دربر کیا ناد علی کے سامنے کوئی منتر ونتر کیا دونوں جہاں بھی اس کے مقابل آئے تو ہاریں گے دونوں جہاں بھی اس کے مقابل آئے تو ہاریں گے حارث وارث مرحب ورحب انتر ونتر کیا حارث وارث مرحب ورحب انتر ونتر کیا ناد علی کا ورد کرو یہ کیا ناد علی کے سامنے کوئی منتر ونتر کیا جس کے دل پہ حب علی کی مہر لگی ہوگی جس کے دل پہ حب علی کی مہر لگی ہوگی اس کے لیے برزخ ورزخ محشر وحشر کیا اس کے لیے برزخ ورزخ محشر وحشر کیا ناد علی کا ورد کرو یہ غم غم دربر کیا ناد علی کے سامنے کوئی منتر ونتر کیا لشکر باطل کیوں اپنی تعداد میں نازا ہے لشکر باطل کیوں اپنی تعداد میں نازا ہے اذن لے عباس کو تو پھر لشکر وشکر کیا اذن لے عباس کو تو پھر لشکر وشکر کیا ناد علی کا ورد کرو یہ ہم غم دربر کیا ناد علی کے سامنے کوئی منتر ونتر کیا صلوات
I'm gonna ask Reza now. Loud salawat for Reza.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم کوئی کافر کوئی مشرک کہہ رہا ہو جب تمہیں کوئی کافر کوئی مشرک کہہ رہا ہو جب تمہیں کیا بتاؤں لطف کتنا اس طرح جینے میں ہے کوئی کافر کوئی مشرک کہہ رہا ہو جب تمہیں لوگ تو لفظوں کا حیدر سن کے دشمن ہو گئے لوگ تو
دو گے تو لفظوں کا حیدر سن کے دشمن ہو گئے. وہ علی کس کو سناؤں جو میرے سینے میں ہے. کوئی کافر کوئی مشرک کہہ رہا ہو جب تمہیں. قطرے کو یوں علی نے سمندر بنا دیا. قطرے کو یوں علی نے سمندر بنا دیا. بے زر بھی آ گیا تو ابو ذر بنا دیا. تاریخ کی نگاہ سے اوجھل نہ ہو غدیر. تاریخ کی نگاہ سے اوجھل نہ ہو غدیر. اس راہ گزر کو اتنا منور بنا دیا. اس راہ گزر کو اتنا منور بنا دیا. کعبے کے آس پاس سبھی پستہ پد لگے. کعبے کے آس پاس سبھی پستہ پد لگے. حیدر کو یوں خدا نے قداور بنا دیا. حیدری سمندر بنا دیا. سلام. جب خدا کو پکارا لیا گئے. جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی. زندگی بندگی روشنی آ گئی. روشنی آ گئی آ گئی آ گئی. جب خدا کو پکارا علی آ گئے. جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی. جب خدا کو پکارا علی آ گئے. جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی. حسن میت نہ کہنا میرے حسن کو. حجرے ملبوس کو مت کفن نام دو. میں چلا ہوں علی سے ملاقات کو. جس کی تھی آرزو وہ گھڑی آ گئی. جب خدا کو پکارا علی آ گئے. جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی. موت ان کے محبوں کو آتی نہیں. آ بھی جائے تو پھر بچ کے جاتی نہیں. موت ان کے محبوں کو آتی نہیں. آ بھی جائے تو پھر بچ کے جاتی نہیں. موت کا کیا خطر موت سے کیا حذر. اس سے بچنا بھی کیا آ گئی آ گئی. خدا کو پکارا علی آ گئے جب علی آ گئے تیری مسند پہ غیروں کو بٹھلا دیا نائب مصطفیٰ مظہر کبریا تو ولی و وسیع و ولی ہی رہا منزلت میں تیری کیا کمی آ گئی جب خدا کو پکارا علی آ گئے جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی ہم کے سرشار عشق اور طبع میں تھے جانتے ہی نہ تھے نفرت و دشمنی ہم کے سرشار عشق اور طبع میں تھے جانتے ہی نہ تھے نفرت و دشمنی یہ تبرا بھی واللہ کیا چیز ہے ہم کو اغیار سے دشمنی آ گئی جب خدا کو پکارا علی آ گئے جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی خمس دینا مودت کی ایک شرط ہے اور نہ دینا بھی مثل فدق ہے گناہ حق سادات و زہرا کے مفروض سے جب تبرا سنا تو ہنسی آ گئی جب خدا کو پکارا علی آ گئے جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی عشق حیدر میں پھرتے رہے شام و سحر ان کے مداح ہیں سارے جن و بشر عشق حیدر میں پھرتے تھے شام و سحر ان کے مداح ہیں سارے جن و بشر ان کی آوارگی کا سفر دیکھ کر ذہن میں فکر آوارگی آ گئی جب خدا کو پکارا علی آ گئے جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی اللہم صلی
برائے سمجھیے امام زبانہ و سال سواد استاد کتاب پر بلند تر صلوات
اللہم صلی علی محمد
Will you invite now Qasim, Brother Qasim to come forward for the Munkarat? Love salawat for Brother Qasim. By Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. So the Qasida is actually in Saraiki, so I tried to translate it in Urdu. So if there is any misappropriation of words, I apologize for that. پڑھنا قصیدہ حق کے ولی کا پڑھنا قصیدہ حق کے ولی کا سارے سناؤ او نارا علی کا پڑھنا حق کے ولی کا زہرا کا شوہر پیروں کا پیر ہے، میں کیا سناؤں
تحت سرا سے عرش اولا تک، تحت سرا سے عرش اولا تک، سارے کا سارا اور اقبالی کا پڑھنا قصیدہ، عقد ولی کا پڑھنا قصیدہ، ایک عام بالے ایک خاص بالے، ایک عام بالے ایک خاص بالے، جو خاص بالے زہرا دلالے، نو کے سنا سے قرآن سنایا، نو کے سنا سے قرآن سنایا، سب کو پڑھایا، کلمہ نبی کا پڑھنا قصیدہ، حق کے ولی کا پڑھنا قصیدہ، جھکا جو بن کے در پہ سوالی، عزت ملی ہے جگ سے نرالی، جھکا جو بن کے در پہ سوالی، عزت ملی ہے جگ سے نرالی، سب لوگ کہتے مجھ کو کلندر، سب لوگ کہتے مجھ کو کلندر، جب کہ ہوں نوکر علی کی گلی کا پڑھنا قصیدہ، حق کے ولی کا پڑھنا قصیدہ، کعبے کا گوہر کعبے کے اندر آیا بنا کے دیوار میں در، کعبے کا گوہر کعبے کے اندر آیا بنا کے دیوار میں در، تیرا رجب کو ہے یاد منظر، تیرا رجب کو ہے یاد منظر، کعبے میں پہلا سجداری کا پڑھنا قصیدہ، حق کے ولی کا، ایک ہے پیمبر 12 امام ہیں، سارے جہاں لئی رب کا انعام ہے، احمد سے لے کر امام زمان تک، احمد سے لے کر امام زمان تک، سارا ہی سونا کن بالی کا پڑھنا قصیدہ، حق کے ولی کا، بھائی محمد والے محمد صلی
اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد، نعرہ حیدری، نعرہ حیدری، محمد و آل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم، اللہم صلی علی محمد. It is narrated that Imam Ali alayhi salam says, the most helpless of all men is he who cannot find
a few brothers during his life, but still more helpless is he who finds such a brother but loses him. مدحت حیدر کرار جدھر ہوتی ہے، مدحت حیدر کرار جدھر ہوتی ہے، بارش رحمت معبود ادھر ہوتی ہے. محو دیدار علی رہتے ہیں وقت آخر، محو دیدار علی رہتے ہیں وقت آخر، در نکلنے کی یہاں کس کو خبر ہوتی ہے. In your loud salawat, I'm going to request Brother Imam to come forward for the manqabats in his beautiful voice. Loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil.
جنگل پہاڑ کرتے ہیں نادے علی علی، مشکل کو میری حل کرو، مشکل کشا علی. نعرہ نازاں ہے ہم کہ ہم کو درے مرتضیٰ ملا، نازاں ہے ہم کہ ہم کو درے مرتضیٰ ملا. جب مصطفیٰ ملے تو درے مرتضیٰ ملا، جب مصطفیٰ ملے تو خدا کا پتہ ملا. پھر ساری کائنات کا پردہ اٹھا ملا. عالم تمام بول رہا تھا علی علی، عالم تمام بول رہا تھا علی علی، میں بھی صدا دیتا ہوا ان سے جا ملا. کو درے مرتضیٰ ملا. چھیڑا جہاں علی کی ولایت کا تذکرہ، چھیڑا جہاں علی کی ولایت کا تذکرہ، مرجھا گیا کوئی چہرہ کھلا ملا. کو درے مرتضیٰ ملا. دنیا بھی غرق ہو گئی دنیا کی چاہ میں، دنیا بھی غرق ہو گئی دنیا کی چاہ میں، حیدر کی دشمنی ہم کو
محمد وعلى
درے
محمد صلوات
نازاں ہے ہم کہ ہم کو درے مرتضی ملا لاکھوں ہزاروں سال کے سجدے ہوا ہوئے لاکھوں ہزاروں سال کے سجدے ہوا ہوئے ابلیس کو پتا تو سجدوں سے کیا ملا نازاں ہے ہم کہ ہم کو درے مصطفیٰ ملا صلوات پڑھ نازاں ہے ہم کہ ہم کو درے ہمت ہے شرط ایک قدم کا ہے فاصلہ ہمت ہے شرط ایک قدم کا ہے فاصلہ جنت سے کربلا کا ہے رستہ ملا ملا نازاں ہے ہم کہ ہم کو درے مصطفیٰ ملا صلوات پڑھ
امام زمانہ بلند تر صلوات
نازاں ہے ایک اور دعا سے
محمد محمد عاجل فرجہم ماشاءاللہ
میں نصیری کی طرح سے کوئی دیوانہ نہیں میں نصیری کی طرح سے کوئی دیوانہ نہیں مانا اللہ جسے اس کا کہا مانا نہیں میں نصیری کی طرح سے کوئی دیوانہ نہیں نفس حق نفس خدا نفس حق نفس خدا دست خدا عین خدا نفس حق نفس خدا دست خدا عین خدا میں نے سب مان کے حیدر کو خدا مانا نہیں میں نصیری کی طرح سے کوئی دیوانہ نہیں جان پر کھیل کے اس نے تو خدا مان لیا جان پر کھیل کے اس نے تو خدا مان لیا جان کر میں نے علی کو ہے خدا مان مانا اللہ جسے اس کا کہا مانا نہیں، میں نصیری کی طرح سے کوئی دیوانہ نہیں، جس سے شہزادیے کونین گئی ہو ناراض، جس سے شہزادیے کونین گئی ہو ناراض، آپ کتنی دعا مانگیے کام آنا نہیں، میں نصیری کی طرح سے کوئی دیوانہ نہیں۔
خوشنودی محمد والے محمد بلند تر صلوات۔
آپ سب جانتے ہیں آپ کو بتلانا کیا، آپ سب جانتے ہیں آپ کو بتلانا کیا، شمع کو چھوڑ کے اڑ جائے وہ پروانہ نہیں، میں نصیری کی طرح سے کوئی دیوانہ نہیں۔ صلوات اللہ۔ ایک اور دفعہ صلوات۔
نعرہ حیدری، نعرہ حیدری، نعرہ صلوات۔
میں نصیری کی طرح سے کوئی دیوانہ نہیں، مانا اللہ جسے اس کا کہا مانا نہیں، کیا خبر ہاتھ جو اب تک ہے بندھے پیش خدا، کیا خبر ہاتھ جو اب تک ہے بندھے پیش خدا، آستینوں میں چھپائے ہوئے بت خانہ نہیں، میں نصیری کی طرح سے کوئی دیوانہ نہیں۔ صلوات اللہ۔ اللہم
Another loud salawat for Brother Imam, please. Without any further delay, I'm going to request Brother Hassan to come forward for a brief lecture on the lives of our three Masumeen. Loud salawat for Brother Hassan, please.
حبیب خدا حکم الانبیاء محمد مصطفیٰ بآواز بلند صلوات۔ نعرہ حیدری، نعرہ حیدری۔ فاتحہ۔
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوكل عليه ونصلي ونسلم على حبيبه ونبيه وخير دينه خلقه حافظ سره ومبلغ رسالته أمين بيته وخاتم رسوله نعمته سيدنا ونبينا وسيد المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على
محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المنتجبين الهداة المهديين المعصومين سيما بقية الله في العالمين والسلام على أئمة المسلمين وحماة المستضيفين وهداة المؤمنين
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى
My dear brothers and sisters, we want Allah for His countless blessings upon us. And today we are very lucky to be gathered in this gathering today to celebrate the birthday of actually there is 4 Imams, not even 3. I'll tell you who they are, right? But before that, right, I want to recite an ayah from the Quran, right, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Anbiya, ayah number 73, He said, وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا. We have sent Imams with our command to do what? So that they can inspire good deeds and to establish prayer and to give zakat. And they are worshippers of us, right? وَكَانُوا لَنَا عَابِدِينَ. So who are these Imams, right? Why do we talk about these Imams in the Quran? Because Allah very clearly mentions about these Imams in the Quran. So the 3 Imams we're going to talk about today, and inshallah there is a Kahoot after that. So if you want to take some notes along the way, it might help you in your Kahoot competition later on, right? So the first Imam is Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى
It's also the Wiladat of Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, Baqir al-Ruh.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى
It's also the birth month of Imam Muhammad al-Jawad al-Taqi, the generous, the pious.
اللهم صل على محمد
And it's also the birth of our 10th Imam, right? Imam Ali al-Naqi alayhi salam.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى
Each of these Imams played a very pivotal role in the history of Islam, and their life story inspires us to follow around their teachings and learn from their lessons. And this inspiration has been there for Muslims, from the day till the day of eternity, from the day they were born. So we're going to start talking about, I'm going to go backwards, right? So we're going to start about talking about Imam Muhammad al-Jawad al-Taqi. Now, al-Jawad means the generous, and Taqi means the pious. So that's what his name was, and that was our 9th Imam. The Imam Jawad al-Taqi was born in Medina on the 10th of Rajab on 195 Hijri. So after 195 Hijri, he was born on the 10th of Rajab. He was the son of our 8th Imam, Imam Ali alayhi salam.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى
Imam became Imam at a very young age, at the age of about 7 or 8 years old. And his Imamat was about 17 years, because he died at the young age of 25 because of poisoning. Now, Imam is actually buried, or his shrine is in Kazmeh next to his grandfather, who was the 7th Imam, Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى
A couple of famous sayings that are attributed to our 9th Imam. One of the sayings he says is that the believer's honor is in their independence from others. So your honor is in the independence of others, which means you're supposed to be dependent only on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He also talked about another hadith where he says, how would a person be ruined and wasted when Allah has accepted his devotion? So if Allah accepted your devotion, you cannot be ruined in this world. And how can anyone be salvaged when broken away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So if you leave Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will always get destruction on it. Imam Taqi, when he became Imam, right, there was a Abbasid Caliph named Mamun. Now, Mamun was very fearful of the stature of the Imams and the popularity of the Imam. Although Mamun appeared to be a very supporter of the Imams, so So he decided that when Imam was like 7 or 8 to bring it to his court in Baghdad. So when he brought him to the court of Baghdad, he also got him married to his daughter. So Mamun's daughter was married to our ninth Imam, and her name was Fadl. So if you want to remember some of these things, maybe it will be there, maybe it will not be there. Now Imam was actually known for his intellectual prowess. And why is that, right? Because a lot of times when they were in the court of Mamun, right, Mamun and even his successor, right, Muhtasim Abbasi, right, tried to corner the Imams into theological discussions or questions which were very hard or difficult to show them in low light. So that's what they would try to do. Now, they did not realize that the Wilaya and Imamat, right, is from divine inspiration. So there is no way you can corner the Imams when you put those type of questions in front of them. And then Imam showed very deep knowledge about not only jurisprudence, but also theology. And Imam was very diplomatic and tolerant when he was answering these questions to them too. So one day, Mamun plotted with a guy named Yahya ibn Akhtam. Yahya ibn Akhtam was the chief jurist in the court of Mamun. And he said, like, let's test the Imam, see what he said. Now, Yahya thought he's a very young guy, so if I'm asking about prayer, he might know, but let me ask him a quick question that might get him more tripped up. So he asked him the question, he said, what is the kafara, or the atonement, for a person who hunts, right, when you're hunting, while he's in the dress of ihram? So what is the kafara, punishment for somebody if he does hunting in the state of ihram? Now you cannot hunt in the state of ihram. I'm going to read word for word the answer the Imam gave you, so you have an idea of the in-depth knowledge of Imam on a question like this. So first of all, Imam says, your question is utterly vague and lacks definition. So your question actually is very vague. You should clarify whether the game was killed outside or inside the Kaaba, right? Whether the hunter was aware of his sin or did he do it out of ignorance? Did he kill the game by mistake or not, or purposely? Was the hunter a slave or a free man? Was he an adult or a minor? Right? Did he commit the sin first time or had he done so before? Was the hunted game a bird or an animal? Was it a small animal or was it a big animal? Is the sinner sorry for his misdeeds or did he insist on actually doing it? Did he kill it secretly at night or openly during the daylight? Or was he putting on the pilgrimage of ihram for Hajj or was it Umrah? So he says, unless you clarify and define these aspects, how can you get a definite answer? So just look at this one simple question, and Imam posed to him a bunch of questions that would define. So this just shows you the in-depth knowledge of the Imam. And not only that, the Imam actually turned around later and answered him on every one of these conditions, what the answer was or what the kafara was or was not for each one of these situations. Muhammad There was also another instance, and I'm not going to go into too much in depth, right? But there was a question around the punishment that would be given out to the thief, right? So what would be the punishment, Islamic punishment given out to the thief? This discussion was happening in the court of Mamun, and Imam was present there. So one person had said, let's cut it off from the other. Another one person said, let's cut off the palm, right? And then they asked Imam said, I don't want to indulge in this discussion. But Mamun forced him to answer. So he said, by the way, the right answer is that the only part you should cut off is the fingers except the thumb. Because every other part of the body is reserved for prayer for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you cut off his elbow or palm, he won't be able to do sajda for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is how you see the intellectual knowledge of the Imam. Now, the Imam also lived a very simple life. Whenever he would have any money, he would actually give it away, right? It was customary for the Imam to meet everybody humbly, right? He would always fulfill the needs of the poor. He would help the poor in secretly, treat his foes equally well, extend hospitality, and then he also indulged in teaching Islam to anybody and everybody who wanted to learn about it. Now, unlike every other Imam, the Imams actually have a tradition of martyrdom. So ninth Imam was not, exception to that rule. One of the problems was that when Mamun died, his daughter Fadl, if you remember, she was married to the Imam. The next person who came in, Mutasim Abbasi, was the next caliph. He secretly plotted with her and his brother to actually poison the Imam, and that led to the poisoning of the Imam, and that's how the Imam passed away at the young age of 25. So, Muhammad wa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala
Now, Imam Jawad's martyrdom is also, a testament to his unwavering commitment to justice and not compromising on his ideals, right? So that's just one way to look at it. The next Imam is Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Imam Baqir was also known as Baqir al-Ulum. Baqir means the splitter or the divider of knowledge, the spring of knowledge, right? That's another way to look at it, right? The Imam was born on the 1st of Rajab on 57 Hijri. Now, if you guys don't know the incidents of Karbala, actually Imam Baqir was there and in Karbala at the age of 3 or 4 years old. He was actually there in Karbala. His Imamate lasted for 19 years. His mother's name was Fatima binte al-Hasan. Now, his father was, of course, our fourth Imam Zainul Abidin.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
The Imam actually contributed a lot towards the narration of Hadith and the explanation of the Quran, right? Imam Baqir was the one who actually started a lot of the explanations around Hadith and tafsir of the Quran and collection of the Hadith in his time. Brother Amir actually said one of his famous sayings, but I'm just gonna gloss over it. This was about the signs of what is a true Shia. If you remember, Imam, Brother Amir was talking about this, right? One of the famous signs, hadith of Imam Baqir alayhi salam is the fact that he said they are trustful, trustworthy, and loyal. That's the first condition. Trustworthy, truthful, and loyal. They always remember Allah. So if you're not remembering Allah, remember it. This is a checklist, right? So if you think about it, this is a checklist. They offer their prayers. They observe the fast. Pay the zakat, recite the Quran. They help the neighbors and take care of the orphans. And they say nothing but good of the people. So they never say anything bad about anybody else. They act nicely towards their parents, and they are worthy of people's trust and confidence. So that's one of the sayings of Imam. Another one is also highlighting the importance of the Quran, right? So Imam Baqir said that whoever learns the Quran and practices upon it, Allah guarantees him a place in paradise and safety from hellfire. So that just goes to show you that the importance of Quran and how Imam is highlighting the importance of the Quran. Now, Imam Baqir was known for his scholarship and knowledge, right? And especially towards Hadith and Quran studies. And this was also a little bit of a problematic era because the rulers at that time was the Bani Umayyad. The Bani Umayyads were involved with war with the Banu Abbas at that time. So there was a lot of conflict going on at that time. So there was a lot of restrictions on the Imam, but Imam was never afraid to actually teach Islam, propagate Islam, and talk about the teaching. Now, there's a couple of famous stories. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but I'll just highlight to you the character of Imam Baqir alayhi salam, because I want to spend some of the part about Imam Baqir alayhi salam. So, one day there was a Christian scholar who approached Imam Baqir alayhi salam, and the Christian scholar decided to test the knowledge of Imam Baqir. And he posed him 3 different questions, and they were very, very, very detail-oriented and difficult questions that you would want to think about. And Imam not only answered the questions, but satisfied the answers or the questions in such a way with his answers that the Christian scholar actually repented it and turned and became a Muslim right away. So, but Muhammad wa Muhammad The Imam was also very compassionate and forgiving. One day, a gentleman decided to come by and he decided to insult the Imam in public. And not only did he insulted his mother also at the same time. Now, this is a lesson for people like us, right? When somebody insults us or says something bad about our mother, our response would be probably something very hard. Imam, on the other hand, instead of reacting negatively, right, he gave a very gentle response to the person and also forgave the person. the person felt so bad about his behavior that instead of reacting to him negatively, the Imam is acting gently towards him and giving him a positive response, and also not reacting to any of the negative stuff he's talking about. He repented and he also became a Muslim like that. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let's talk about Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. As you guys don't know, maybe it's just a reminder that the Imam was the only person born inside of the Kaaba on the 13th of Rajab, 23rd year before Hijrah. So he was born inside the Kaaba. Now we also know that he was a cousin of the Prophet, right? He was also a cousin of the Prophet, meaning that the fathers of both the Prophet and Imam Ali were actually brothers. So that's why they were cousins. Not only that, he was also the son-in-law of our Prophet, right? So because he was married to Bibi Fatima. Now, Imam Ali, every time we talk about, we know about his bravery. Everybody knows about Imam Ali's bravery, right? In all the battles, actually, there was not one battle that the Prophet didn't go that Imam Ali did accompany him except for the last one, right? So he actually went on every battle with the Prophet. Our Imam was also known for his wisdom and knowledge, because the Prophet said, Ana Madinatul Ilm wa Aliyun Babuha. I am the city of knowledge and Ali is its gate. So if you want to attain knowledge, you have to go through the gate. So that's how much he was known for. Now, there is a very famous book about Imam Ali, which is called Nahjul Balagha, which is a collection of his sermons and sayings that we should all make sure when we get a chance to actually read or try to understand some part of it. Now, Imam Ali had a lot of firsts, like he was the first on a lot of things. I could probably go on with the list on and on and on, but I'm going to just give you some simple examples. First of all, we all know he was born inside the Kaaba, but did you know he was the first one to accept Islam after Bibi Khadija? He was the first one to accept Islam. He was also the first one to offer prayers with the Prophet. There's a very old story going back. There was a trader who came to Makkah, right, like very early. And right in the middle of the day, he sees this man and a little child and a woman praying in front of the Kaaba in the middle of the day. And this person asked him, asked his friend, who is this guy? He says, Ada Muhammad, Ali, and Bibi Khadija. Not only that, there's another story where they were doing tawaf of the Kaaba. Now, anybody who's gone for Hajj or Umrah, right, just visualize the scene, right? You have Prophet praying, you have Imam Ali on his right side, and Bibi Khadija praying right behind. That's just the scene that I would probably kill to actually see myself. Right? Now, he was not only that, he was the first one to offer his services for jihad. He also was raised in the house of the Prophet, so he was actually taught by the Prophet himself right from day one. And he was also the first one to actually compile and codify the Quran, because the Quran, he actually was the first one to compile it. Of course, they didn't accept it, but he was the first one to present it. Now, I'm going to switch this a little bit and try to make it a little bit different, right? There is an ayah in the Quran which Allah said, Bismillah, it said, Ya ayyuhar rasul balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik wa in lam taf'al fama ballaghta risalatahu. He said, O apostle, proclaim the whole of what has been sent down to thee from thy Lord. If thou does it not, it will be as if you have not performed the duty of prophethood. Also, what was this big announcement? That Allah was threatening the Prophet, saying, if you don't make this announcement, you've actually not performed any of your duties of Nabuwwah. So at that time, the Prophet, gathered everybody in the place of DAR-E-ZEHRA. This was after the Hajjatul Wada, right? And he called everybody, he waited for the ones who were behind me, he sent people who were gone ahead and said, bring them back. And then in that field of DAR-E-ZEHRA, the Prophet asked the people in front of me, he says, am I not worthy of the believers than themselves? And my wives are their mothers. So everybody said, Ya Rasulullah, yes, that's correct. So then Prophet took Imam Ali's hand in his hand and he raised it and he said, Man kunta mawla fahada aliyun mawla. Whosoever I'm mawla, Ali is his mawla.
Nare Haidari.
And then he turned around and did a dua. He says, Oh Allah, love him who loves him and hate him who hates him. Now, we as Shias always, mention this story every time, right? So I'm going to try to put a little bit more context on it, right? So we have our other brothers too who always say, well, we don't find this story in our books, right? Especially Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. It's not there. Now, was that the only time Prophet said that, this is my wazir, this is my khalifa? Actually, that's not the case. There are other hadiths which I'm going to give you a little bit about that information so you can walk away with it. They are present in Muslim, they are present in Sunan and Tirmidhi, they are present in the Musnad of Ahmad bin Hanbal. So I'm just going to give you these hadiths. One of them is called, we actually call it DAR-E-ZEHRA. A lot of people might have heard it, but the actual correct name of the hadith is Hadith al-Dar, the hadith of the house. So when the Prophet initially became Prophet very early, Allah commanded him to invite his relatives to accept Islam. And he invited his relatives to come, and when they came for the dinner, he actually started talking about Islam and said, who's going to help me? And Imam Ali stood up right away. The Prophet said, no, sit down. Second time, he asked the same question. Nobody else stood up. Imam Ali stood up. Prophet said, sit down. Third time, the Prophet asked the same question, and Imam Ali stood up. At that time, Prophet said that you are my brother, companion, my wazir, and my heir. So this is, by the way, present in the books of our brothers, right? So it's called Hadith al-Dar. There's also the Hadith of Manzila. Now this is called the rank of as Harun was to Musa, right? So there was the battle of Tabuk, after which the Prophet asked everybody to be each other's brother, and Imam Ali was standing there alone, and he didn't have any brother assigned by the Prophet. So Imam Ali asked the Prophet, like, what about me? So at that time, our Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Ya Ali, are you not satisfied to be to me as Harun was to Musa? Except there is no prophet after me. So now let's go and ask the Quran, right? What was Harun to Musa, right? Because he's not a prophet, at least we know that. But what else was Harun to Musa? So in the Quran, if you go and look, first of all, Harun was the Khalifa of Musa. That Quran says that, by the way. Not only that, Quran says, and so this is in Surah Al-Araf, ayah number 142. Then secondly, he says his wazir. That's also in Surah Taha, ayah number 29 and 32. He's his brother, we all know that. Sharing of the message, supporting, right? And then, of course, the Hadith-e-Thaqalain, right? Where the Prophet said, he says, I am leaving among you that which if you hold firm to it, you will never go astray after me. The book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a rope stretched from the sky to the earth, and my progeny and my family. They will never separate until they come to me at the heavenly haunt. So watch how you treat them after me. By the way, this is in their book. This is in Muslim. So, there's a lot of times when we get questions like, you guys always talk about DAR-E-ZEHRA, right? Of course, we talk about DAR-E-ZEHRA and we're proud about it, but there is actually hadith in our brothers' books that actually mention Hadith-e-Dar, Hadith-e-Manzila. There are all these hadiths, they are all there in it. So we need to make sure that we are armed with this information also when we are talking to people, and not just talk about DAR-E-ZEHRA. Of course, we need to talk about DAR-E-ZEHRA, but we need to also point out these hadiths in their books. Now, the most important thing to learn from this is that, when the DAR-E-ZEHRA comes, one of the topic becomes is about Khilafah, because we always, it turns into the political leadership question, right? So why is he not the first Khalifa and why is he the fourth Khalifa? Or was that the only thing Imam Ali was deserving of? The answer is no, right? Because Imam Ali was also the religious and the moral authority after the Prophet. It wasn't just a question about the Khalifa, right? Now, how do we prove to other people that, Imam Ali's character above us, not the knowledge part, not the bravery part, but what was his character and dedication towards Islam? And I'm going to give you two stories. The first story is the night of Hijrah. Quraysh actually wanted to have 15 people from different families gather spears and swords, and their plan was that before dawn they were going to assassinate our Prophet by coming into his home. That was their plan. And why did they want all 15 to do that? because this way nobody could be taken revenge against, right? Because if everybody is doing it, who are going to take revenge against? So at that night, our Prophet asked Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says, I want you to sleep in my bed. And Imam Ali asked him only one question. He says, by me sleeping on the bed, are you going to be safe and Islam's going to be safe? Our Prophet said yes. And guess what? Imam Ali went to sleep as happy as he can. Knowing fully well there's 15 people outside standing with spears and swords ready to strike. And not only that, Imam actually put the Prophet's robe and then he covered his head and he went to sleep. And then all of a sudden before dawn, Prophet actually disappeared, right, in the middle of the night. Then dawn, these guys come in, right, and then they start beating up Imam Ali. All of a sudden they realize that it's not the Prophet, it's Imam Ali alayhi salam. So they ask him, where is Muhammad? So Imam Ali responded, if you leave him with me, then I can give him back to you. If not, then you need to get out, right? Because he's not with me. So this just goes to show the unwavering dedication. Would you be, if you are asked to sleep in the bed, knowing fully well you could get killed? That's the level of dedication to Islam and towards the Prophet. There's also a very interesting nuance in one of the battles that I want to leave you with. This is the last part of the thing here. So Imam Ali was very famous for his bravery. One of the battles that happened was the Quraysh one day decided to gather an army of 10,000 people and they marched from Makkah all the way to Medina because they wanted to destroy all the Muslims and get rid of Muslims altogether. Now at that time, Salman al-Farsi recommended that we should dig trenches, right? Big trenches so these people cannot cross over their army over and come. So the Muslims decided to dig a trench around Medina so these people could not bring their army over. Now, what happened is there was some warriors on the Quraysh side. When they reached there, they realized that you could not, cross over. But a couple of them, especially one gentleman, his name was Amr ibn Abdul. Amr ibn Abdul was known for his bravery, and it was known that he was equal to 1,000 warriors. 1,000 warriors. So he decided to get on his horse, and where there was the khandak or the trench was like less, he jumped his horse over and he rode all the way to the Prophet's tent. And then he came there and he started shouting to the Muslims like, I am here to challenge you to come fight me. He says, if you come kill me, then you are a jihadi, right? If you get killed, then you become a martyr and you go to hell. Nobody stood up. Nobody stood up except Imam Ali stood up. So the Prophet said, sit down here. Second time he challenged again. Nobody stood up. Imam Ali stood up again. Said, sit down again. Third time he says, what is wrong with you Muslims that I've lost my voice for so much calling for you to come fight me? Like it basically was like ridiculing him. At which time Imam Ali stood up again. Now Imam Ali went and went in front of Amr ibn Abdul. So Amr ibn Abdul was very famous for granting one wish to his competitor. Imam Ali said, you're famous for granting one wish of the person who's fighting you. I have the wish. He said, what is it? So Imam Ali first said, why don't you accept Islam and accept the Prophet and it's all done. So he said, no, that can't do it. I haven't jumped across this whole thing just to do. So Imam Ali said, why don't you do this, go back where you came from. Just go back. It's okay. He said, no, I can't do that. So he said, now since you're forcing me to fight, how about this? Let's make it an equal fight. You're on a horse, I'm on foot. Come down from the horse and fight me straight up. Now, I'm going to give you the nuance on this story right now, right? So there is a very famous poem, and I recite the poem. This is a Sufi poet who recited this poem. It just gives you the highlight of the character of our Prophet. So Rumi said, right, and this is his poem. He says, learn how to act sincerely from Ali, God's lion, free from all impurity. During a battle, he subdued the foe, and drew his sword to deal the final blow. He was ready to strike him himself. The man spat in Ali's face, pure in pride of every saint and prophet far and wide. So our example was when he was on the ground, Imam Ali was about to strike him, he spit on Imam Ali's face. The moon prostrates itself before this face at which he spat. This act was a disgrace. Ali put down his saber straight away. The moment the person spat on his face, Imam Ali put the sword down. He was ready to kill him. He had defeated the guy. It was all done. He just had to strike him. And Imam Ali, the moment he spat on him, put his sword away. And though he was on top, he stopped the fray. He stepped back and away. The fighter was astonished by this act, that he showed mercy though he had been attacked. Now, after the battle, somebody asked Imam Ali, right, you had him down. That man's worth like 1,000 warriors. Once you have him down, you kill him. You don't walk away, come back, and give him another chance. So Imam Ali said this, right? Imam Ali said, he says, everything I had done up to that point, when he was ready to say, everything I had done up to that point had been for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything Imam Ali had done up to that point was for the sake of Allah. But when the warriors spat on my face, right, Imam Ali said, I got angry. And if I had to kill that warrior, so if you had to kill the warrior at that time, right, it would not have been for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but a response to my command. Just shows you the character of Imam Ali alayhi salam, right? That everything the Imams do, right? I recited the ayah, right? The amr of Allah. They don't do anything except from the amr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it just shows you the character of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Now, the Prophet said a very famous hadith, which you probably already know this, right? The Prophet said that Ali's strike at Amr ibn Abdul in the battle of Khandaq was worthier than the worship of all humans and jinns combined. Imam Ali's one strike in the battle of Khandaq was worth all the ibadah from the creation till eternity. Imam Ali's one strike was worthier more than all the ibadah of everybody else. Muhammad wa Muhammad and Imam Ali was actually after that called Asadullah. That was the start of the life. So in conclusion, right, the lives of these Imams are a source of inspiration for us. Right? We can take a little bit learning from every one of them. Right? Imam Ali alayhi salam's unwavering and pure-hearted commitment to Islam, right, to the Prophet and to Islam was to the point where he was willing to sacrifice his life, and everything he was doing was for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Questions asked, right? Imam Baqar was known for his intellectual contribution to hadith, right, and the teaching of Islam. He actually started the school of Imam Jafar Sadiq, because Imam Baqar was the one who started teaching hadith and teaching people about Islam, and then Imam Jafar Sadiq continued that tradition. And also being compassionate of nature, right? Even though somebody comes towards that person. And then the life of Imam al-Jawad, right, offers us lessons that show us that the pursuit of compassion, resilience, and justice in one's life. So we learn lessons from every one of these Imams. These Imams are all beacons of light and guidance for us. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right, give us the strength to follow the examples of this Imam alayhi salam and martyrs of Karbala, and to stand up for injustice wherever it may be found. O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask you for all that is good in this world and in the hereafter. O Allah, we ask you, we seek refuge with you from all evil in this world and in the hereafter. O Allah, we ask you for the good that your servant and prophet has asked for, and we seek refuge with you from the evil from which your servant and prophet sought refuge from. O Allah, we ask you for paradise and for that which brings one closer to it, and we seek refuge in you from that and from that which brings one closer to it. Subhanallah. Please recite Surah Fatiha, but before that, Allah Sallallahu
Another long salawat for Brother Hassan, please. This is the final segment of tonight's program. So it's going to be more interactive, and they will now find out how carefully you were listening to the speech. Because Brother Hassan has already given away at least half of the answers for this completion. Right, so before that, just a quick announcement. As you know, we always try to encourage the youth to come forward and participate in different activities. We know that there are a number of kids they come forward for the Mankabas, Nasheed, but for the upcoming programs including the Shaban programs, we would like more kids to come forward. It's not only about the Mankabas, Nasheed. So whoever wants to participate, there are a number of ways. So the kids can participate. They can do the short speeches. They can make the beautiful posters about the event. So there are a number of other ways to participate. Now there is one important event coming up for the kids, for the youth. So there is an opportunity to win a gift by participating in Mirage poster creation. So all the kids, they will receive a gift. Whoever they participate for this poster creation, they will receive a gift. The poster will be displayed in the common hall until the late Shaban. The due date for this is February 8th. So I would request all the parents to encourage your kids. All ages are welcome. So try to get your kids to make a poster, beautiful posters. The posters should depict the Miraj event. Right, so Muhammad Ali Muhammad Salawat. So we'll try to do it quickly, okay? So quickly just going through the rules. There will be two teams. So one team's from the ladies' side, one team from the gents' side. But the difference from the previous jeopardy is like what I would like is to bring the kids forward, to make the kids your representative. I want the kids to participate more. So two kids from this side and two kids from the gents. So whenever we get the question, so you can take a turn. So you make two groups. You are actually one group, but you can make two subgroups represented by two kids. The same here as well. So not everybody will be shouting, not everybody will be giving the answer. Only the representative will be answering the questions. Alright, so we want to just get it done as quick as possible. Right, so who are the reps here for the gent side? Heather, good. Hamza, Muhammad Ijaz. You can sit down. Okay. So one of you sit right at that end. So people on this side, and you sit here. Right, ladies side, who are the representatives? Who are the kids? We need two. Zara, who's the second one? Second one, please, quickly. One of you should be sitting here, one there. First. So we have five categories here. Imam Ali alayhi salam. The second is general knowledge from Holy Quran. Third one is fiqh. The fourth one is outer syllabus. So it's all about the general knowledge. And the last one is about biographies of Imam Muhammad Baqar alayhi salam and Imam Muhammad Taqi alayhi salam. Right, so team 1 and team 2. So who is going to do the scoring here? So I need help here.
Yes,
Team 1 is the ladies and gents. Right.
Okay, so ladies, Please select your category. Which one? Imam Ali. Imam Ali 500. No. Imam Ali 300. Yasin, Imam Ali 300. Okay, so you should all know this answer. The answer is one. In which battle did Imam Ali kill Amr bin Abdul? What year the battle took place, and which child of Imam Ali bin Fatima was born during that year? So there are three parts here. It's a 300 points question. If you only reply to one part, you get only 100. Okay, so which battle? Why take that much time? It's just being discussed in this speech introduction.
आंसर नहीं है ना इसमें.
So battle was Khandak. Correct answer. Second. What year the battle took place?
AD.
Okay, we don't have time. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. That's incorrect. Last. Okay, gents.
So they'll get the 100 points. That's the wrong answer. Last part. What is the last part?
So only the ladies side they get the 100 points. So no points for the gents. So battle took place in 5th Hijri, Battle of Khandak, and Bibi Zainab alayhi salam was born that year.
कौन से ये 1 है 2 है कैसे भाई खवातीन कौन सी है टीम ए टीम बी है
रिवील है ना, ये स्पेस बार है ना,
सही है
ये स्पेस बार से रिवील.
अच्छा भाई
खवातीन टीम 1 कर दें, इसको हम चेंज कर सकते हैं, इसको क्लिक करें.
सही है
Okay.
टीम 1 के 100. एस्केप करें तो कंटिन्यू हो जाएगा.
ओके
Next gents.
Imam Ali 500.
Imam Ali 500. Okay, name. Actually, it's not. It's 3. This is called that. Name 3 sons of Imam Ali other than Imam Hussain and Hazrat Abbas who were martyred in the battle of Karbala. So 3 sons of Imam Ali other than Imam Hussain and Hazrat Abbas who were martyred in the battle of Karbala.
6 बेटे थे ना करबला में.
Anyone?
अबू बकर उस्मान थे ना 2.
Jawad is going to tell us. Anyone? Ladies side. Jafar, Abdullah, Usman, correct answer. And there was Abu Bakr as well. Abu Bakr ibn Ali.
You can reveal the answer. Space bar.
स्पेस
So 500 points for the ladies.
Come on, guys.
All right, ready, slide.
मैंने बताया तो था. I told you guys.
Fifth 400. What is the meaning of Muqtadila? And what is the minimum obligatory hijab for women? So this question is about the hijab. So first question, anyone knows the meaning? Twenty seconds. Okay, hijab question will be getting 100 points.
उसको बंद कर दे. बंद कर दिए उसको.
Okay, so I'll take that. So they get 100 points.